Hello and welcome to our Klaviyo Smart Take series. My name is Kira. I'm our e-commerce product marketing manager here at SmartBug. And this is another one of our series where we'll dive into all things Klaviyo and e-commerce, talking about the specific platform in Klaviyo and different tools and strategies you can use for your e-commerce marketing strategy. We have Joe and Kelsey here with us today, so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Joe, if you'd like to start.
Sure. Thank you first and foremost for having me. Joe McCarthy from the Klaviyo Partner Marketing team. Super excited to be here. We're talking about one of my favorite topics, which is getting ready for Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all that entails. And as you all know, it's a lot of work. But let's start with just a quick background on Klaviyo if you're not familiar. Klaviyo is an intelligent marketing automation platform. We make it easy for marketers to centralize and use every piece of their customer data to deliver hyper-personalized experience across channels that's going to help you increase conversions and revenue and just make more money overall. So super excited to dig in. And thanks again for having us.
Yeah, and I'm Kelsey. I'm a strategist over here on the e-commerce side of SmartBug. My day-to-day looks like planning and scheduling campaigns for 12 to 14 clients at a given time. I've always got my hands in the mix, and so I have a lot of fun here planning out the campaigns you're seeing in your inbox. And we're talking all things holiday planning today, which is something I'm actually already working on now at this time of year in my day-to-day job. So I'm excited to share what's going on in my world.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Excited to have you both. As mentioned, so today we're going to be talking about holiday marketing, specifically with Klaviyo, talking anything from different automations and integrations that you can set up to help with your holiday marketing initiatives and just overall strategies that we can take to. So jumping in, let's talk about Klaviyo's marketing automation capabilities and specifically what we can do during the holidays.
Perfect. And, I said Black Friday and Cyber Monday earlier, and it really is important I always jump to like almost like that really big time where it's like 4 days of super compressed sales, but the holiday season starts early and it's almost like the minute you stop planning for it from the past year, it's like you're already thinking about it next year because you're looking at, what happened, what was successful, what's not. So what we're thinking about with Klaviyo, we make it really easy. So one, we work with over 100,000 customers. We work with all of the leading e-commerce platforms. And whether you're just getting started out or you're, a really sophisticated large company, we can help you have greater results. When it comes to the automations, what really powers Klaviyo and our automations specifically, it's really our data layer. It's where we collect and store all of that information that come over from your customers. It's the things that you learn from them because they've bought something or browsed something. And it's the things that you kind of learn from them just by maybe they stopped by the website and they actually didn't purchase anything. They're in a different mindset at that point in time. All of those data points get stored on a Klaviyo customer profile, and that's what makes it really powerful for us to then use that information, reach out with automation, segmentation, all the things you're going to hear about it. Right now, where our head is at, and what we're talking with our customers about is really getting prepared. So right now, it's all about optimizing acquisition strategies. We want to make sure that when the holidays start, and they're starting earlier and earlier, as we all know, you might get your first email this year in September for the holidays. Who knows? Let me know if you do. But it's really about maximizing the volume of subscribers that you have right now on your email list. We want to make sure people are opted in, they're ready to receive communications. Essentially, they're opening up to you and saying, I'm ready to have a relationship with you as a brand. So what that means, one, are you set up with your forms? Are you actually, for all the traffic you're getting right now, are you collecting email addresses? Have you tested your form discount strategy? Maybe you're trying a free product giveaway. The biggest thing right now is really optimizing so you're collecting as many names as you possibly can. And on the SMS side of things, we have a robust automation system there as well. Even maybe you're not ready to use SMS, but now is a good time to make sure you're using a multi-step form and you're collecting those numbers. So if you decide to do something, you've already got a whole bank of people that you can speak to through that channel set up and ready to go. Beyond that, I think when we start to kind of zero in on some of the like really key automations, I'll break this into, for folks who are just maybe getting started or their email program is not as robust, we want to make sure that you've got your big basic automations, the big money-making ones, ready and willing to go. You have a great branded welcome flow. So you have a welcome flow that delivers out the minute that someone signs up to receive communications from you. You send this over to them. Typically the best ones happen across a couple of days. There's multiple contacts and it's really well branded. You're telling your story as only uniquely you can. And you're focused on, especially if you're in a competitive space, telling your new friends, your new recipients of email, how you're different, how your products are specifically different, what makes you special, and how you stand out in that competitive space. Beyond that, the other ones we want to make sure we have site abandonment. So we call this internally the espresso shot email. Someone comes to your website, they don't buy something, they don't browse. Maybe they got, someone rang the doorbell. Send them a note and remind them to come back. And then from there, it starts to go further down the funnel. Browse abandonment flows and abandoned cart flows. Now, if you have a more mature program that's up and running, a lot of times what we're looking at is not recreating the wheel, but it's how do we get even better with the flows that we are. And this is something I'd love to talk about before the holidays. So some examples here, when you're thinking about some of those product abandonment emails, abandoned carts, one, are you really setting them up? Do you have your flow set to send a really, truly personalized product-specific email that gets into all of those details? One of the ways that I love to see brands reuse work that they put in is when they have this new feature announcement. Say they have a new sweatshirt that's coming out. It's super cool. It's got a great material. It's got unique drawstrings. So they've built this great email that's going to go out to their audience announcing this product. The minute you've created that, it's a great time to go in and add kind of a new step in your flow. Whereas if someone abandoned a cart for that sweatshirt specifically, rather than sending them your standard abandoned cart, send them details based on the new announcement email that you created, because then you're going to be able to really sell that specific product with all that great content. Benefit there is one, you're reusing things that you've already created, so you're getting more out of the creative that you've spent time building. And then two, you're giving the person who's receiving it a really specific, personalized experience. Going to help you with that conversion much more so. And then the other thing that's really important is, are you thinking about your discounting strategy? We talked to a lot of brands who have spent a lot of time working on their website. They've got a few great blog posts that are bringing in a lot of that free traffic that they've won from the search engines. So there they might be testing a strategy where they're actually giving away a higher discount to push for that conversion right off the bat, because they got the traffic essentially for free. Whereas if you're running more costly acquisition channels, we see a lot of testing there, seeing what are the right balances to get someone to come, to sign up, to also convert without breaking the bank, because we know all of those costs have gone up. So I could talk about this for hours. I'm going to turn it over back to the team and we can kind of go from there. But so many things to do right now.
Yeah, to wrap up, basically, I mean, I could not sum it up nearly as well as Joe could, but to wrap it up, some things I'm thinking of too on the project management side when I'm scheduling campaigns during Black Friday, Cyber Monday season is the importance of send time. I know we can all get in the habit of utilizing that smart send time feature or using the recipient's local time zone feature. I make sure during sales windows, especially on the launch day and the closing final hours, to put it at a specific time zone. So 7 a.m. Central Time Zone, Pacific, Eastern, whatever. It really is not going to make a huge difference which time zone you pick between, the typical ones we're using. But what I want to avoid in this case is saying recipient's local time zone, they're somewhere halfway across the world and get an email with 5 hours left to use the discount, when they could have had 24 hours to shop. And so you really want to keep those time sensitive considerations in mind. And then also, this sounds the same, but slightly different, going into your settings and adjusting your smart sending window. Typically, we have, I think, an average setting of waiting 16 hours between emails firing. So that means as a recipient, I'm not going to receive a browse abandonment flow and a campaign flow within an hour, because that would feel aggressive. It might scare me away. It might cause me to unsubscribe. And so we set that parameter so that we're not flooding our subscribers. But during Black Friday, Cyber Monday season, I would hate for them to get an abandonment flow, but then miss an escalating discount campaign. So I typically shorten that window to like 4 hours. I don't know, Joe, if you're seeing something that's even better practice than that over on the Klaviyo side, but that's something we typically do around here.
It's one of those things that we recommend putting on your list of things to check in on. You'd be surprised. It's really easy to forget. Say, even in your general automations, you might have a final date of shipping that you have to hit to get guaranteed shipping that you want in all of your emails. Things like that, we recommend putting on that checklist to make sure you go in and review them. One, to make sure they're out there, because 4 hours is a good one to test. And we do see a lot of testing there. But then you want to remember to remove it too after the holiday season. So we always make sure to put it on both checklists. But 4 hours is a great way to start. What happens with automations, one big one that we see, especially come out around the holiday timeframes, are cross-sell emails and upsell emails. So, for example, someone just bought a new frying pan. Terrible example, but they bought a new frying pan. They're really excited, and you could email them, 4 hours later about the new spatula set. That's great. It's non-stick, so it's not going to harm the pan. You want to remind someone to buy that so close in proximity to that initial purchase. So 4 hours, I think, is a great one. You want to be careful going too close because, again, you want to relationship number one. You don't want to harm the relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always a great point too. I think I know I've worked with a lot of clients when we started utilizing that smart sending, and I've never really thought of it in that way too for like those big campaigns and events, like making sure they're actually seeing that stuff. Very important for sure. So awesome. So, on the topic of using Klaviyo for different campaigns, especially around the holidays, maybe Kelsey, could you speak to how SmartBug has helped specific clients? I know you work with multiple different clients at SmartBug, helping them with their email and SMS strategy. What are some success stories or things that you can share through that experience?
Yeah, well, I will say my success stories all come from those who are willing to plan early with me. Sometimes it's not possible. You don't know if you're actually going to get that shipment in time for the holidays. You can't plan in the summer or early fall for November, but if you can, if that makes sense for your brand or your business, I'm a big fan of planning sooner rather than later. So last year, I had a client that we started working on their holiday plan in early September. We wanted to not only anniversary their sale, but outperform it. And so I wasn't sure, it turns out last year people's buying behaviors were as aggressive as 2021. But going into Black Friday, I honestly wasn't sure if they would be. 2020 and 2021 had really aggressive buying behaviors. And so we just wanted to have a game plan to try to beat that, even though the intention and behaviors were currently possibly different than previous years. And so what I presented to the client was a pretty aggressive send strategy. I wanted to create 4 custom holiday flows, a short welcome, a browse abandon, checkout abandon, and cart abandon. We did holiday themed pop-ups. Snowflakes were animated. It was so fun. They were an epoxy brand, so we had paint dripping down the side of the pop-ups, snowflakes. It was really cool. And then we did 30 additional campaigns and resends. They're typically sending about 12 per month. And so we wanted to really be able to weave in some early November VIP sales, speaking to people who had previously purchased, to reward people who had been shopping throughout the year who wanted to get started on their holiday shopping early. I think we were seeing data that said the sooner you start sending in November, the more likely you are to stand out amongst the inbox competition, because I don't know what y'all's inboxes look like, but mine are full of promotions every day. So I was looking for sales early November. I knew, obviously being in the industry I am, they'd probably be starting sooner. And I think our consumers are smart. They're catching on to that too. They're looking for sales earlier. So we started with sales in early November. We certainly weren't giving away exactly what we were giving at Black Friday, but we slowly escalated throughout the month. And in between the sales, we built in a lot of nurture to really speak to those customers, to create social proof with reviews emails or FAQ emails. And then we came in strong during Black Friday, Cyber Monday season. We extended that into the first week of December. And then we shifted I had a few clients do a variation on 12 days of Christmas. A lot of the times customers are going to be shopping December 1st through 15th. They slow down. They're going to be quiet after the 15th because they don't think it's going to arrive on time. And so you want to maximize that window to possibly run another sale, like a shipping cutoff sale or a free shipping Friday. And then again, if a 12 days of Christmas makes sense, that didn't make sense for my clients with 4 products. But my clients with 30 products, we picked the most popular ones and did, a 12 days of planning for a planner brand. We did a 12 days of DIY mess for a epoxy brand. And so we really took that concept and ran with it. And for this client specifically, I really felt an ethical weightiness of like, man, I've proposed a really aggressive strategy. I really want this to outperform it. And it did. We outperformed last year's numbers and hit it, hit that number plus 13K. And so I'm a big fan of planning early. I know that grind that can come in late October as you're planning for those November campaigns. And when you start in September, it just feels like not a rush. Everything doesn't feel urgent. You can make tweaks as you get into October and November as needed, but it doesn't have to feel like all hands on deck, critical overload in November. If you plan ahead, it can feel like an easy breezy holiday season where you're making a lot of money.
Mhm.
I just wanted to call one thing out, Kelsey. The resend, I feel like that is such a great strategy because one, you've already spent a ton of time and effort building something out. You have a great email. They don't happen just like that. Like it takes some time. And a resend is great because you've already built it. You have an audience who may have missed it. You don't know. You try to put yourself in the consumer's shoes and you're like, you have a ton of different things going on. Someone might be hosting, who knows? So like that resend is such an easy way to get some additional revenue out of something you already created. You just need a slight new tweak on the subject line. You're good to go.
Oh yeah. I mean, like think about it as us, right? We're not going to think I read that review 6 months ago. We're just going to be like, "Oh wow, these people love the product." Or I read that FAQ 3 months ago. And it's like, "No, actually I was kind of wondering about that and I forgot that FAQ even existed." And so I think the consumers, while they're highly intelligent and smart, they're humans and they're not going to recall every email that's landed in their inbox in this last year.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that too, and I think that it's extremely important to think about that stuff. Just to think about your full holiday strategy months ahead of time. So even though you might not be actually, implementing or creating your campaigns until September, maybe late August, right now thinking about it and knowing what you want to plan, digging into the data, making sure that you're optimizing what your campaign's going to look like for the holidays. It's important to start that early on for ultimate success. So, thank you for sharing those examples, Kelsey. Talking a little bit more about getting in the weeds with creating these campaigns with Klaviyo, how are some ways that we can actually go about doing that?
So I'm going to take it back to the start of the call with some of this because I want to make sure it's super clear if you're not very familiar with Klaviyo. The real power is all in the data and the information that gets stored in Klaviyo. So for every customer you have, we're going to create that customer profile. And that to me is where I always think of it as like the point of inspiration. You're going to work on your discount strategies and everything that you're going to be pushing out to an audience. That's going to be, particularly, you're going to have lots of people involved in that. And Kelsey's going to dig into that in a second. Uh, but when I think about the actual customer profile, I go there to look for inspiration because it tells you what people are browsing, how often they're coming back to the site, items that they may have bought. And the great thing is with Klaviyo, you have that information over the lifetime of the customer. So you can go back, for example, say in my head, I think that everyone knows like their number one customer. They know them by name, and you talk about, well, what would Martha think about this? So like the great thing is like you can go to that customer's profile page and look for inspiration. You can go back and see what did they do there during the holiday season last year? What emails, through all the campaign reporting, you can see what emails, which campaigns and automations performed well. But that's kind of like where I go back and look for inspiration because that's what gets me really excited and gets me thinking through the new things. When you actually get into the platform itself through the drag and drop editor, through all of the ability to save content blocks, we make it really easy to actually build all of the campaigns that you need to. For me, I think the harder part is trying to figure out exactly what you're going to say, how often you're going to say it, what does that email calendar look like? And I think the thing that a lot of brands spend a lot of time thinking through, and this is why, to Kelsey's point, getting started early is the most important, is what is that discount strategy going to be? Like you have an audience, you know who you're going to market to. With Klaviyo, you can use all of those data points that I talked about to get really segmented. So, for example, you might have your list of VIP shoppers. Those might be the people that you want to give the lowest discount to because you know they're the most likely to buy. At the same point in time, because they are so loyal, that might be the group that you want to start marketing to pretty early. So for me, I think what it all comes down to is going in, looking for inspiration, and then really thinking about the actual holiday personas that are going to come to light. So, like, are they deal hunters? Are they the last minute shoppers you need to break out for? I mentioned the VIPs. Are they just the window shoppers that are really waiting to be wowed with the biggest discount possible? Are they impulse buyers? Like, who is at play with your brand specifically? And then how do you build a strategy around those? And like I said, those are all things you can get from inspiration through the profile, and then by doing some, some late work with your segmentation to just see which audiences you have available. Kelsey,
Yeah,
over to you.
I think the opportunities are endless with the integrations that come with Klaviyo. I think about some cool campaigns I've seen recently that have landed in my inbox where, they've integrated a rewards a rewards partner into Klaviyo, and they highlight to the customer how many points they have to shop with and how many points it'll take to earn their next reward. Well, that incentivizes the user to keep shopping during that season. Maybe they're like, ooh, in early November, I'll hit these points with my Christmas gifts, but in late November, I'll redeem my rewards for myself. There's ways to use these external integrations that are Klaviyo's partners to really maximize and just boost those campaigns. I think about, integrating your help desk, like having a help section at the bottom of your abandonment emails. Have questions, text XYZ to reply, and our team will get back to you. And you can do that through the SMS conversations in Klaviyo. You can integrate Gorgeous, Freshdesk. The opportunities are endless. And
We have over 300 integrations. If you get me started on integrations, we're going to be here for days. But are you going to talk about the shipping ones? Because I love, especially around the holidays, using shipping integrations to keep people updated. But I don't want to steal your thunder.
Oh, enlighten me. I'm ready to hear about the shipping integrations.
Obviously, I dork out about this a lot. So we have a bunch of different shipping integrations. Depending which one you use, everything gets integrated into Klaviyo, especially at the holiday time of year. People want to know that their package has been mailed. Did it get to the post office? Great. Whether it's through an email or through an SMS, let the customer know that it's gotten there. And then you can keep them updated all along the way. And I think a lot of us are still working from home. Even selfishly now, I still want to know when there's a package sitting outside my door so I can go literally run down and grab it. So all things to think about.
I'm excited to dig into the countless opportunities we have here with integrations for my clients. So shipping will be top of my list now that you reminded me of that, Joe.
Perfect.
Awesome. I think a common thread through all of this that I'm really hearing is when you're creating these campaigns, you're creating these messages, outreaches to your customers, is really understanding the actual user experience that they're going to have on the other side. So there's so many integrations. There's a lot to think about when it comes to design, messaging, timing of those messages, how they receive those messages. And overall, it's going to vary depending on the brand and depending on the customers. And that kind of goes back to Joe's point on segmentation as well. And really making sure that your campaign is success is knowing those customers and knowing how and when they like to receive messages and making sure that what you're saying is relevant to them. And a lot of that does go with these integrations. Like personally, I love shopping with brands that have loyalty programs, and I get weirdly competitive over them. So when I see my points, I want to spend more. I'm notoriously famous for spending so much money at Starbucks just because I get 10 cents off a drink when I add a syrup to it. And that'll keep me going to Starbucks over another coffee shop though, because I like seeing that. It's a good experience for me. And I think that's just something to really keep in mind as you're getting in the weeds of actually creating these campaigns. What is it that you're really doing that's providing that excellent experience for the customers? Speaking of integrations, is there any other integrations for e-commerce platforms in Klaviyo that we can utilize for holidays or Black Friday, Cyber Monday?
Well, I think we've talked about some of the big ones. So loyalty, huge one to make sure that you're out there up and running. Reviews is definitely another big one. So that's something that I definitely think people should have. What else? I mean, I'm speaking for myself here, but we look at reviews all of the time. I want to know exactly how have people experienced the product? What are they liking? What are they disliking? And then the fact that you can use those reviews through some of your email copy, to just kind of convert additional users is super important. I think for some, people are also still focused. We've talked a lot about how to maximize your email with the existing audience that you have, but there's a lot of people who are also thinking top of funnel. How do I get more people to my site during this time frame? So I know one question that comes up often for us is, what about using Meta? Do you have Meta integration? Do you have a Google Audiences integration? And we do have an integration with both. And for us, we talk a lot at Klaviyo about the idea of customer first data or first party data. If you're going to go out right now, especially as you come towards the holiday timeframes, the CPCs go up, the CPMs go up, everything is on the rise, and it's so much more competitive to reach someone. So when it comes to that side of things, when you are investing, if you're going to invest with Google or Meta, I always suggest build some lookalike audiences. It automatically integrates into Klaviyo. It stays up to date. So it's literally, if someone buys something, it's syncing immediately to pull them out of that audience. So you can use it for retargeting purposes, but also, like I said, use it for lookalikes, use it for audience acquisition. So go find shoppers who mirror your VIP shoppers so you have the best chance of converting them. And it's also a good time. We talked about making sure you're capturing and building your audience. You could also test lead gen ads. So that's another great way to use a lookalike audience based on your VIP segment to bring more people onto your actual database or into your Klaviyo platform.
Perfect. So there's a lot to think about, a lot that goes into building out your holiday campaigns through Klaviyo. But if that seems like a lot to handle, that's why we're here to help. So we have wonderful people just like Kelsey here at SmartBug that can actually help get these campaigns up and running, help you with some of those question marks that you might not be sure how to actually implement or strategize things. We also have a ton of different resources, blogs, ebooks, and templates that you can utilize to help you get started and getting your holiday campaigns running as well. So we'll be sure to link to all of those for you guys to look into as well. I just wanted to say thank you so much to Joe and Kelsey for getting on this call, chatting with us about the holidays. I know it's a really busy time for all of us in the e-com world, but I know that I've taken away a lot of great points, and I hope everyone else here has too. So thank you guys again. And if you have any other questions or you're interested in getting set up with Klaviyo, maybe you haven't used Klaviyo yet, but you know you need something similar, definitely reach out to us. We love Klaviyo here, and we do consider ourselves experts. So thank you guys again, and I hope you all have a great day.
Oh, thanks so much for having us. Have a good day.